Hello there guys, welcome back to ShootOut, welcome back to a brand new video. Me and George hope you're doing well today as we get into the reactions of match day week 14, or match week 14, however you want to put it, in your language. George, how are you doing today?
Mate, the Premier League review is always the most exciting once I've had yet another victorious week of Premier League predictions, which I did last week. I have managed to close the gap to you now down to just 3 points, which is very exciting. I think I had a correct scoreline between Forest and Everton, and then 5 other correct scores. I think something along those lines this week, but I think I'm 3 points behind you now.
Do you remember that season where Chelsea, I think, were like 8 points ahead? I think it was against, I think ahead of City, and then City caught up, and then Chelsea still finished 8 points ahead of them. That's exactly what's going to happen, mate. Don't worry.
All right, well, I think I've won the last 2 weeks, so we've also got predictions. My earpiece keeps falling out, sorry about that. We have predictions coming out later today here on Shootout because there is midweek football. Bloody December, mate. I love it. Absolutely love it.
It's getting crammed. This is the timetable. This is the time of the year where there are fixtures left, right and centre. So keep your eyes peeled as we dip into our predictions for next match day. And for this one, we're going to focus on what has already happened. So without further ado, let's get cracking. First game, Brentford 3, Luton 1. Now, talk me over this one. This was expected, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, we both said that Brentford were going to win. I think Luton, they're just going to... I think at the start of the season, everyone kind of knew what was to be expected from them. I think they would have those kind of games like the Liverpool game at Kenilworth Road where they're difficult to beat. At home, they're definitely going to be more likely to pick up more points. Brentford, very good going forward. They're having, let's say, a very Brentford-esque kind of season since they made it into the Premier League. And I don't really think it's much surprise whatsoever, really. Like, I mean, I think between the scores of like 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, whatever, it could have been anything. But I'm not surprised that Brentford got the result. We both got a point there.
We did. So happy days in regards to that because that went exactly according to plan, except for the actual scoreline. But then again, you can't have it all. Brentford picking up 3 points against Luton at home, basically expected. And in terms of the standings and what it doesn't do any justice for Luton, but Brentford are in a good position in 11th. So there's that. Now, next one is, well... This was a lot tighter than we anticipated. Arsenal-Wolves. Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. We thought that Arsenal were going to roll away with it.
Yeah, and I mean, very late on, Wolves should have easily, well, I say easily, they could have had an equaliser. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I watched this game back actually afterwards because I watched the Chelsea game, then I watched the City Spurs game, and then for whatever reason, me and Harry decided we were just going to stay up and watch the Arsenal game in full. Don't really get why we did that, but we did. But I was watching it and I'm like, I actually don't know. We were just chatting and waffling football and then that was just on in the background. But like, I think that the one thing that Arsenal have this season, that even when they're not playing very well, is there are 2 players on that pitch that can make absolutely anything happen at any given point. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard. And I think as we watch Arsenal this season, obviously now they are 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Man City have managed to go 3 games in a row without a win. What they've done so very well this season is, even if they're not playing as electric, beautiful football as they were at times last year, they've managed to find a way now, even when they're not playing that well, to just grind out results. And Wolves grew into this match massively towards the end of it. But yet still, Arsenal look so much stronger at the back. They didn't concede and they get yet another 3 points, 10 wins from 14. Wolves they'll feel a bit unlucky, I think, towards the end of that game. They didn't score.
No, you're completely right. I mean, Arsenal picking up that win is basically standard. However, the way they did it, is... You have to question, because it is still early in the season, whether they still have that problem that they had last season, which is when they think it's all going their way, they just come off the gas. And they were 2-0 up very quickly. And then from that point onwards, it just went slow. Wolves, as you said, could have got something towards the end there. That's maybe looking at Arsenal thinking you probably should have killed the game off a little earlier. But they got the job done and they did pick up 3 points and the win is a win and they're top of the league. So, you know, when you look at it from that perspective, as long as they don't fall into the same issues that they did last season towards the latter stage where they just, you know, they were throwing results away because they weren't killing off early or they weren't awake to start off with, which in this case wasn't the case, then Arsenal will be all right. But they got a win, fair play, and they're top of the league. So congrats to Arsenal. The next one is bonkers. We didn't see this coming. I don't think anyone in the land saw this coming. Burnley
I saw a win.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I know you saw a win. No. I know you saw a win, but not 5-0. No one said 5-0. Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0. That's outrageous.
That was outrageous, to be honest. I definitely didn't see a 5-0. I think, only said it was going to be 2-1 to Burnley because you said 1-1, which was the score I wanted. So I was like trying to keep things a bit different. Look, Burnley were never going to be... They were never going to lose every single match. You know, they've lost 11 out of 14. That's only their second win of the season. They've only got one draw. They've not been scoring lots of goals either. But when you start a game and score in the first, I think, 15 seconds it took Burnley to score, and it was Jay Rodriguez, a player like I thought had probably retired by now, but somehow he's still playing for Burnley in the Premiership. Like, when you start like that, like, the game was already lost for Sheffield United within that first 30 seconds. And both of these two sides know that confidence is low, they've been struggling, results have been bad, and I just think it was the absolute worst start for Sheffield United, probably even more so than it was the best start ever for Burnley. They just set the game up for themselves and then they just took it away. It was a great win for them, though.
No, absolutely. And I think this differentiates the issues in both teams because Burnley are more of a side that you can see that they're, I don't want to say well-oiled, they're not, but you can see they are together, they are with company. It's just maybe the quality that's not there, you know. But as a unit, yeah, they do play for each other. There isn't that sort of problem. With Sheffield United, I mean, well, we've already heard manager's about to get the chop. That is confirmed. He's on a matter of, I think, hours before he officially gets sacked. And they're going to bring back Chris Wilder. So that just tells you where Sheffield United are. I do suspect that once Chris Wilder comes in, that they will, you know, bring themselves up a little bit. But this game against Burnley was an absolute calamity, and it just summed everything up at the football club. So Burnley 5, credit to Burnley for taking advantage of the situation. They definitely did that, and they come out 5-0 winners. And for that, they are now sitting 19th above Sheffield United. Sheffield United at the bottom. We'll see what goes on after that in terms of both teams and where they're going to go. Nottingham Forest, Everton. Nottingham Forest losing at home to Everton 1-0. It's funny, we had Everton winning and you got this scoreline absolutely spot on. Like, you said 1-0, I said 2-1. Congrats.
Yes. Thank you. I'm happy with this one. I think Everton, bro, if you look at the table, like, if Everton didn't have that 10-point deduction, they're only 2 points behind Chelsea. So, like, Everton are doing very, very well. I look at that squad, I think there was definitely a lack of goals in it when I looked at it at the start of the season. And I think Sean Dyche is doing an incredible job, realistically. I remember sitting here a few weeks ago when we analysed the Liverpool game against Everton, and we thought Everton were hard done by in that one. They played good football. Yep. They're very difficult to break down. They're not conceding a lot of goals. And obviously they got Chelsea at the weekend, so firmly expect them to find some kind of form to beat us at Goodison Park at the weekend, stadium we've not liked going to. But yeah, Forest, inconsistent. They're losing a lot of matches at the moment. They've got to be looking over their shoulders slightly, with Bournemouth being in relatively good form also below them. But I think Everton are going to have no problems. I think they will get out of that relegation zone, even with the point deduction, and it could be Forest who fall into it as a result. What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Everton are fighting tooth and nail because they have to. It's a situation where if they didn't have the points deduction, they would be up there, I think, in 11th or 12th, like just neck and neck with where Chelsea are.
Yeah.
So I do think that because of the points, they know they have to give double of what they would normally give. And there is still the risk that they might get more points deducted because apparently there's another alleged breach. So, they got to make sure they're picking up points. And they're doing so. Credit to Sean Dyche and Everton. They are playing as a unit. They are solid. They're getting those 1-0s. They're getting those 2-1s. They're getting those results over the line. That's the most important thing. So yeah, I do reckon the same thing's going to happen. Everton will survive. Will survive, I reckon. Maybe just, but they will. So, Congrats, Everton, getting the result. Congrats, George, on the correct score prediction.
Thank
Bloody
you,
hell. And the next one, but I mean, look, did you watch this game? Newcastle, Man United. Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0.
I did. This game was not a 1-0. This game was more like a 5. Like, we both thought that Man United were going to concede goals. Somehow, bro, this has been the same thing all flipping season. Somehow, even the games that don't go Man United's way, the scorelines are not reflective of the disparity in quality between both of the teams that are playing football. Like, when they win, they've been lucky to win. When they lost this one, they were lucky to not lose this game by more. I don't even know what we're looking at with Man United. Do you know what I mean? Like, against Chelsea tomorrow night, tomorrow night when people watch this video, they'll probably turn up and probably actually put in a good performance. They probably will. Chelsea haven't won there in 10 years. But, like, I just don't get it. You got Rashford sat there on the bench saying, like, I don't know what the F I'm doing here. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I still think it is going to be soon very, very much time to go for Ten Hag. Yes, they've been doing well recently. They've been in good form. They've been winning matches consecutively. But they've still lost 6 out of 14 already this season. But they're only 9 points off the top of the league. Like, that's mental. How?
It's bonkers, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Man United, as you said, were picking up results and you could see the performances wasn't reflecting. The scoreline doesn't reflect it. You're completely right. I mean, it was a matter of time before Newcastle were going to score. They should have been 4-5-0 up before they got that goal with Anthony Gordon. And you could just see even after that, United just, thrown it away and given up, except I think for one chance towards the end. But Newcastle, credit, it's not easy for what Newcastle have done. Newcastle got the win against Chelsea with the injuries that they had, 4-1. They went to Paris with the same lineup and got that draw. Could have won if it wasn't for that 95th minute penalty that was given that shouldn't have been a pen. Then they come back with the same 11 again, right, including 17-year-old Miley Cyrus, as we've been calling him. Credit to Miley. And they get the job done there as well. They didn't make a sub in 190 minutes. I mean, it's crazy when you look at it from that perspective, but they deserve it. Manchester United, though, we're hearing the rumours about what's going on in the dressing room. Apparently, Ten Hag's lost half the dressing room, and they play Chelsea next. So make sure you're there for the prediction video as we let you know what's going to go down there. So Newcastle, credit to them picking up the win. United, an absolute mess.
Big time.
Now, talking about Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Speaking
3,
of the Devils,
Brighton
mate.
2.
Yep.
And
big win.
Yeah,
Huge
your
win,
thoughts,
bro.
because we thought it... You know what's funny? It finished in between what we predicted. You predicted 3-3. I predicted 2-2. Chelsea get a 3-2 win.
Yeah, that was literally spot on from us in terms of like acknowledging that we'll probably concede goals because somehow we've lost how to defend. We can attack now. We're looking good. Bro, I think Chelsea came in for a lot of unfair scrutiny after this match because people, again, are just firmly expecting all of a sudden, because we've spent all that money, because we've got some good attacking players, people are just expecting the quality of performances to constantly be at what I think is currently an unattainable level. Like, we're not doing a Chelsea video this week because of all of the Premier League matches, so we'll do a big Chelsea segment now. I actually think that Chelsea managed this game incredibly well. I think as much as we obviously didn't help ourselves, I still think Gallagher's very unlucky to be sent off. I think actually more likely, based on all of the tackle... Bro, I really didn't see that fully as a penalty, as a second yellow card for me. I think maybe...
Nah, it was. I reckon it was.
I don't. I really don't. I think it's shoulder to shoulder, by which point Gilmore's already going down. And then when he goes in, I don't know. I think it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other kind of tackle, and then he doesn't necessarily win the ball when he goes to ground, which is kind of the stupid part of it, which is why I'm not surprised that he's got another yellow for it. But I do not necessarily think it was like one of those fouls that you're like, right. I think it was a foul that could have been a yellow if the first one wasn't already given as a yellow, based on like the way that referees
but that's the thing.
tend to do this in football, you know.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's the thing, though. I mean, for me, it's if it's a yellow card challenge, it's a yellow card challenge. The fact what was weird about that tackle is that he went over the ball. He went over the ball, got Gilmore, and it was kind of from behind towards the side. For me, it's a yellow card. And Gallagher, knowing that he's on a yellow, and this was the one negative during this game, because everything else worked in our favour. We got the job done in the end. We got the goals pretty early, which was quite relieving to see. But Gallagher, knowing he's on a yellow, you can't be going in for a rash challenge like that, knowing that you're going to risk getting sent off. Whilst you just saw Reece James do what he did the previous game against Newcastle. So no, I mean, yeah, for me it was a second yellow. And that's why I was fuming with him, because I'm like, you can't do that. But 10 men, Chelsea ended up getting it done, although bloody hell, it was squeaky bum time properly, wasn't it? I mean,
Mate,
you sensed that Brighton were going to come back into it, and you just thought, no.
As soon as Pedro scored that goal, I literally had said, maybe about 8 seconds before Pedro scores their goal to make it 3-2, I was adamant that we were going to absolutely flop and fumble the end of that game. I was so sure of it, bro. Like, it would just be so Chelsea in this period of chaos that we're in now, where like we don't know whether we're coming or going from one game to the next. It's almost like we don't know whether we're coming or going from 1 minute of a match to another. Do you know what I mean? And I think overall, the fact we saw it out, like, I don't know how Caicedo is still on the pitch, by the way. But he doesn't get a booking, which is fantastic.
Yeah, he didn't get a yellow, by the way. We all got fooled. We thought he was booked. He wasn't booked. Yeah, so...
How? I don't know.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Chelsea getting the win. And look, the one overlying factor is the fact that we need to know how to control ourselves and not get too rash. I'm not saying the players need to go in for softer tackles like I've seen some people suggest. That's not the answer.
No.
I would advocate for Chelsea being, tough in what they do. But we got to know how to control emotion and time ourselves and position ourselves correctly in order to not be on the back foot, to have to make crazy tackles and do all those things, and also keep our mouths a little quiet, because we do get booked for dissent quite often. If we just do that, I think that's a starting point. And we got Man United next, so make sure you're there for the prediction video as we do nail down what we think is going to happen. So that's Chelsea. Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. Now, look, we were watching the Chelsea game. This was going simultaneously. I could not believe the way that the score was changing in this game. And I've gone back and seen what happened. And that's just outrageous. I can't explain it in any other way. Outrageous what happened at Anfield.
I mean, this is just, for me, this is proof that Liverpool have made some big strides this season. And Jurgen Klopp's team are very much in a title race. Fulham played really, really well, actually. And they've had a few games like this season where they've been very competitive. But then, again, it's to see a game with that many quality goals for Liverpool when they're not playing that well, they're conceding opportunities. Defensively, they're not as strong as they have been in the past. That is a given. But the quality of these goals, man, even the fourth one from Trent, which is the winner, which is the most emphatic, basically, because it's the winner. Even that is a brilliant goal. But like the free kick is absolutely sumptuous. It was basically the same free kick that Trippier hit against United, but like it actually went in. And then the McAllister one is phenomenal. Endo, I didn't know he even had that in his locker. And then a right back appears in that position and Trent buries it for Liverpool. This could go down as one of the more iconic Liverpool wins of the season. This could be that game where it looked for so long as if they weren't going to get anything, let alone a draw. Like, to win it like that is just incredible. And I mean, I'm looking at their defence now.
No, you're right.
Like, they would have had the joint best defence in the league if they wouldn't have conceded these 3 against Fulham. I just think they're getting enough results. They've only lost 1 in their first 14 this season. It was brilliant. I enjoyed watching those highlights. As much as I don't like Liverpool,
Yeah.
To see goals like that, it's just like, well done. Do you know what I mean? Clap your hands and move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And credit to Fulham. I'll have to give credit to Fulham for the way that they went down about their business, because you don't expect Fulham, with the way that they've been playing, to go to Anfield and take them to the limit in that manner. Especially going ahead. We saw twice, if I'm not mistaken, they went ahead. But Liverpool, as you've said, this could be that result that really turns the momentum properly, because Liverpool have been that team that started off a bit weird, managed to find their stride, and this is definitely a massive confidence booster now, knowing that, yeah, we can turn a result in a blink of an eye if we want to. That Trent free kick, I have to say, was Beckham-esque.
Yeah, that's an
to get the winner in that
free
fashion.
kick.
That was Beckham-esque, man. That was just outrageous. So,
Yeah.
Credit to Liverpool. In the end, look, they reap the rewards. They absolutely deserve it. So fair play, and they keep it moving. Fulham very unlucky. So yeah, if you haven't seen the goals for that game, please go back and watch it, because as a football fan, it is a pleasure to see when you see it go down in that manner. West Ham Palace, the televised game on the bloody Sunday. Well done, Sky Clowns. 1-1. I mean, you had all the other games going crazy, and this game just, 1-1.
We literally said it, didn't we? We were like, I don't know how they've managed to do this, but I think somebody somewhere is going to end up regretting their decisions this weekend to put the games in this order. Let's talk about it, because we have to. West Ham and Crystal Palace, currently two teams are not in the best form. Palace, a lot of questions about Hodgson. Is he over? We said that beforehand that we think he is probably over. But he manages to somehow keep hold of the job by not losing again. I think if they could have lost this one, maybe there could be questions maybe about Palace.
Absolutely.
West Ham have got Europe as well. So I think for them, after any European game, they probably just don't want to lose. Kudus on the score sheet again. He seems like a serious player. A lot of people said that Chelsea should have had him. But yeah, in terms of how much time to spend on this one, I don't really think there's much. It was a 1-1 draw. It's a bog standard Premier League game. No one cares. Move on, innit?
Yeah, completely. And with the way that it went down, West Ham getting an early goal, as you said, Kudus, and then later on, Edouard getting the equaliser. There really wasn't much in it. When you go and look back at exactly what went down, it was pretty equal. 1-1's a fair result. I've got nothing more to say. horrific choice of game from Sky there. I've got nothing else to put on the table. That's West Ham Palace. Bournemouth Aston Villa. This was a shock. This was going on at the same time. Again, another example why the TV companies got this absolutely wrong. Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 2. We thought Aston Villa will pick up a win. I did see some other predictions stating that this could be the one where Aston Villa slip, because they don't travel well, and they're much more stronger at home. This kind of proved the point.
Yeah, I think, and as well, when you look at the table and you look at Bournemouth's form, the last 5 games, they've been picking up a lot better results. They've got 10 points now in their last 5, which is really good for a team that were pretty much looking like they were going to be down and out. Dominic Solanke scoring again.
Yep.
Aston Villa, though, I will say this, as much as it's not the result they'd have wanted, and it doesn't kind of fuel any hopes that they would want to be involved in people's title charge conversations, scoring a 90th minute equaliser to not lose and coming from behind twice in a game against an informed team is still a relatively good result when you look at it. They dominated the possession again, but Bournemouth created a lot of chances. They had a lot of shots on target as well. I think they had more than double Aston Villa's shots on target. So I think if you're Aston Villa and you're Unai Emery and you're confident at Villa Park, which the predictions video, there's some cracking games that Villa are involved in now. I think they've got City tomorrow, so that's going to be incredibly exciting. But for me, I don't think this is a bad result for Villa based on the way that Bournemouth played. I think it's a good result to come back twice.
I completely agree. There's going to be games in this season, especially for a team like Aston Villa. Let's be honest. There is going to be games where they're going to not pick up a win. And I think away from home, when you look at it, this is probably one of those games. It doesn't define the season, doesn't define what they're doing. They didn't lose. That's fine. As far as I'm concerned, for Aston Villa, that's fine. So 2-2 on the day. The other game, the last game, Man City, Tottenham, we got this completely wrong.
Yep, we did.
But realistically, Man City probably should have won. What are your thoughts? 3-3. I predicted 5-0. You predicted 4-1. And it's finished 3-3, but controversially.
I'm gonna say two things. Fair play, Ange Postecoglou. Fair play, Tottenham Hotspur. I didn't think you'd have it in you to kind of grind out something the way that you did in the manner in which you played this game. However, isn't this just like, again, on a weekend where refereeing decisions can be questioned everywhere, how the hell has that whistle gone at the very end there to stop Jack Grealish when he was in? Like, that is criminal. And I'm sorry, I don't see any other way that Man City don't go ahead and score that goal. If you've got a player of Grealish's ability one-on-one with the goalkeeper, I think he buries that, and that changes the whole complexity of not only the game and the result, but the Premier League table as well. I think for me, the craziest thing about all of this is the bigger football becomes, the bigger the Premier League becomes in English football and just in the world in general, the more valuable all of these mistakes become. And I think Erling Haaland, who's become a flipping meme and a half after this one, was more than within his rights to go absolutely bonkers at the referee for just once again losing control of the game. It's losing control of the game in one moment by just making such a stupid, erratic decision, which inevitably impacts the outcome. It's just, I'm so tired of seeing the Premier League suffer from this officiating. It really is suffering right now because it just takes away from what football should be, because the quality's not there.
No, completely right. And this game had everything in terms. For me, this game was up there at least with the 4-4 that we saw with Chelsea and City. It was definitely there as a Premier League spectacle. It was wonderful. But you're right, it's been overshadowed by this absolute clown decision. And I've said it on my video, I don't see how there's any other explanation except the referee did not want Grealish to score that goal. It's as simple as there can't be any other explanation. He waives the advantage. The advantage is given. Grealish is in on goal. He goes, nope, free kick. But you've given the advantage. It's criminal, as you said. That's the right word.
It is criminal.
And as a result, the players surrounding the referee in that moment, which is completely justified, Haaland reacting the way that he did, which is completely justified, Man City have been charged, and Haaland is about to get charged. It's bonkers when they're correct in the way that they reacted. It's crazy. What do they expect people to be?
I don't want to see Man City getting away with things. I don't want to see Man City not being punished because it makes things a bit more interesting because now they've not won in their last three. But, like, come on. Even me, like, I don't think they deserve to be punished for that. You've got to understand, in these moments, the referees are not the smartest people on the pitch, but unfortunately we have to treat them with some level of respect to believe that they actually are the voices of reason on the field. The problem is they're just not. They're not good enough. The quality isn't there. They keep making wrong decisions over and over again. And, you know, I don't think there should be a punishment for this from Man City. This is just the emotional nature of football, and the referee was the absolute idiot who's got it completely and utterly wrong, and it's probably why they've not got 3 points.
And to be honest, look, if you're going to charge someone, charge the referee.
Yeah,
you know,
take his packet
City
away.
and Haaland are going to be punished here. As you said, if the Premier League are going to have this demand of respect for referees, well, they got to earn it. They can't be making mistakes like this at this level. That's criminal. It looks completely, you know, on purpose. It looked like he didn't want City to score. So yeah, absolutely insane. But it's overshadowed the performance. Fair play to Tottenham because they really did show up on the day away at the Etihad. It's not easy. They got themselves in that game for the whole 90 minutes, and they take away a point. So fair play to Spurs, but City definitely hard done by in terms of the way it ended. So because of that, before we end, Arsenal are top of the league, 33 points. Liverpool are up in second at 31. Man City in third with 30. Aston Villa in fourth with 29. I mean, it's bonkers. Tottenham in fifth with 27, and Newcastle just behind them. So we're going to see how it's all going to go down on the next match day. That's our next video, the predictions for match week 15. So make sure you're going to be there for that. But leave us your reactions below in the comment section for how you thought it all went down. And George, any final words?
No, mate, I think that's good. I think we've got to move quickly now because the Premier League is coming thick and fast during this Christmas period. Hit the like button if you do enjoy these reviews. We are back on job, aren't we, Big Eunice? We're making the vids, we're pumping it out, and we'll see you all later.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we will do. Bring it on. I'll see you in a bit.